Once your project is finally done, you're ready to share it, whether you're going to put it on the web or you're going to put it on DVD or on film. You need to know how to get this file off your computer. So let's go to the File menu, and we're going to choose right here to Export Movie. And then the Export dialog box appears. The first thing you have to choose, of course, is where you want to save your movie. As you see here, it's going to save mine to my desktop. If I want to choose the location myself, I click right here, and I can go ahead and then search my hard drive to find a spot to put it. Then I can choose the export format. As you see here, I can choose to export as an image sequence, a DV stream, which is very handy if you're going to go to a program such as Final Cut Pro, AVI, which is the default movie format for Windows PCs, the QuickTime movie format, which is the default standard for the Apple Macintosh movie format, or an Adobe Flash movie, which is great for showing your file on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and choose QuickTime Movie. And then what we can do at this point is we can either choose to use the last setting that we used for the particular format, or we can choose to use the default. And the default will pretty much recommend what the standard industry format is for whatever export format you choose. And if you want to see what that default setting looks like, click Options. And we can see that we're exporting a video, and here are the settings that it's chosen. The compression scheme is going to be animation. The depth is millions of colors. The quality is best. The frame rate is 12 frames per second. The key frame rate is 24 frames per second. And the dimensions are pretty much the file size itself when we started our project, the actual camera size, which is 500 pixels by 375 pixels. What we can also choose is internet streaming, so we can choose for this movie to load pretty much as it starts to stream for internet playback. So your guests on your website don't have to wait too long for this movie to play. We can also change the settings manually by clicking any of the buttons here. And then if you know what you're doing, you can choose the compression type. As you see, we have a long list here. I normally choose something like Sorensen Video 3 if I'm going to put something on the internet. But what these do for you is they compress your file in a multitude of ways, depending on where you're going to place it. I can also change my frame rate right here if I want to. I can change how the keyframes are going to be recorded. And I can also choose the depth if I want to. I can go to millions of colors plus, I can go to grayscale, I can go to black and white. And I can choose the quality as well. And you get a preview right here. So I'll go ahead and just put it on 16 colors real fast, and you see we get a dithered effect. I can also choose to go to grays or black and white. So you can get this kind of cartoony feel to it. So I'm going to cancel that for now. And I'll cancel this. I can also choose to export the full movie, the timeline current scene, or the exposure sheet current scene as well. And I can also choose an export range. All frames, or I can determine which frames I want this to export. For example, I might only want frames 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 15. And if I want to see the export after I finish choosing to export this movie, I can choose to launch whatever the default player on your computer is, so that when I choose OK, the player will launch for me. So that is how you pretty much get your file ready to go to another format. Whether you're ready to go right to another media format such as a DVD or a CD, or you're ready to export your file to playback on the web.